Mr. Governor, SMT members, educators, RCL, members of the board, all guests, all sponsors, parents, or I should say all protocol observed in case I omit anyone whom I was supposed to mention here today. I am pleased to be here to mark the opening of this coding and robotics laboratory at Verulam Secondary. One should say our learners are 21st century learners. And for that reason, we need to become a 21st century school. In today's fast-paced world, technology has become an integral part of our daily lives. In such a scenario, computer education has become imperative for learners to stay updated with the latest technological advancements. The establishment of this coding and robotics laboratory is in line with the government's commitment to promoting the use of modern information and communication technologies. Parents, I'm making a terrible mistake. I didn't acknowledge our ward manager. My apologies. Amongst ourselves is our ward manager. I need to acknowledge him. Ward manager, you are acknowledged, and we acknowledge your presence. And maybe fellow principals from other schools also, we acknowledge you too. The new computer and coding and robotics lab will provide learners with opportunity to develop various skills such as problem solving, as Mem has indicated, and critical thinking. I think as a parent, maybe I need to explain to the other parents for you to see that, hey, at least your chair knows a little bit of what is happening here. Coding is also the programming of science and robotics, where you put actions into the computer to make something happen. This world is rapidly changing, and technological advancement have become a significant aspect of our daily lives. As such, it is crucial that we prepare the future generation to embrace and utilize technology in their everyday activities. One way of achieving this is by setting up robotics and coding labs in almost every school in the province. Robotics and codings are vital fields that have a significant impact on the world's future. Robotics in particular involves designing, building, programming robots to perform tasks that are either too dangerous or impossible for humans to perform. We are profoundly grateful as the SGB for the sponsors for partnering with Verulam Secondary School in this initiative. This investment serves as a true demonstration of the community spirit, private sector confidence, and interest in the well-being of our public school. One can say no investment in future of our country can equal or better an investment in what? In education. Therefore, we must commend the principal, Madam, who's leading our, Mrs. Nalini, who's leading this whole project. We have to commend you too and your team, the teachers, the school governing body, and all sponsors for the spirit of good public sector and private sector partnership that has made this laboratory a reality. It is important and urgent that we all join hands in providing infrastructure for the skills development of our young people. Creating hope and meaningful opportunity for young people is a crucial concern of our school and its associated partners. It is an issue to which all responsible citizens need to give a serious and a sustained attention. It is with this in mind that we wish to draw on the knowledge, experience, and resources of our sponsors to achieve this end. It is, however, important to remember that collaboration between partners is based on a common vision and is mutually beneficial. What do I mean? This investment in schools will not only benefit our school, but it will also benefit the community at large. From the security point of view, we must remember that, as Mr. Ismail indicated earlier, the most secure and vibrant schools are those that are valued and supported by the community. I think we need to stress this one. Otherwise, if the community doesn't support us as an institute, we are at risk of losing or our property being damaged. The vast amounts of resources are needed for this kind of infrastructure. And as a result, it will require all of us to play a role in ensuring that it's safe at all times. The coding and robotics lab belongs to us as a community, and we therefore must take responsibility for its security. I hope that the community will be invited to participate in the maintenance and security of this coding and robotics lab, as this will benefit all stakeholders. The opening of this laboratory creates the opportunity to make significant changes in the way our learners are taught and the way in which they are learning at school. I believe that with the best use of this laboratory, the foundations of learning at the school will be strengthened and it will improve. One of the major strengths of the new technology is that it creates a massive bridge of the digital divide, and it allows accelerated erosion of disadvantage and poor performance. In conclusion, initiatives such as these give substance to many of the ideals and visions of the Department of Education. With further support from the community and the corporate sector, we can jointly address the challenges that we are faced with. I wish Verulam Secondary and the community every success with this coding and robotics laboratory. I thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your continuous support in helping us launch this new coding and robotics lab. Not one, but two. Thank you. Our next presentation of appreciation, Mrs. J. Pariachi, can I please call you? Mrs. Pariachi is on our school governing body, an active member. She's in our school basically, I would think 25 hours of a day, and she never sleeps. And she's always here. Sorry, Naidu. Okay, is New Learner Technology present? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, as well, is continuously in our school helping and aiding with our printers and CD copiers. Next, do we have Simple Tech? Simple Tech? Thank you, sir. Thomas Snyder, thank you. Okay, thank you, sir. Next, we have class of 2002, Sanusha Kava. Are you present? Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Snyder, and thank you, sponsors. Our next, then our information technology advisor and fellow friend, colleague, Mr. J. Sunanan. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good morning to our esteemed guests, the principal of the school, his super staff, our ward manager, and our pupils and all the people that are present here today. Listen, I'm a bit disappointed because I think every speaker before me mentioned everything I was going to say. I mean, they explained robotics, they explained coding, they explained the importance of 4IR, so I'm not going to belabor those points. But I'll just give you from the department's perspective. You know, it's disappointing that IT, CAT, you know, the buzzword subjects, even coding robotics, is not really taking off the ground as we expect, because obviously it's a finance problem. Our province is really vast, and much of department's efforts is actually going into resourcing schools that are from the poorer communities, from rural areas. So unfortunately, when we are called Quintile 5, which is what Verum Secondary is, we hardly considered for any new equipment and things that come with the IT lab. The previous regime, it had a better system. Every school was given equipment and upgraded on a yearly basis. So the subject thrived. But right now, IT and even CAT in our provinces, the numbers are dropping, largely because of funding. And there's only so much funds that the department can provide, and that seems to be a problem all along, right? So even in this area here, you find that most of the schools do not offer IT, nor do they offer CAT. And the new thing coming up is coding and robotics, which is starting from grade R, and there we're having problems as well, because equipment, again, is a problem. The other thing is theft in schools. Our schools were not built for that kind of thing. You know, it was like it was a community center, and people hardly ever thought of, you know, somebody breaking in and stealing stuff. And that's another problem we are facing. So it's just putting equipment in schools is not going to work in most schools. This school, I really love the school because I went into the IT lab and they've got equipment. I don't know how outdated, but it's maintained so well. You wouldn't say, right? I mean, the initial computer lab here, when I walked in, and I even have my workshops here. And the guys can't believe that that equipment is kept in such a good condition. All of the old equipment, but it works, right? And yeah, I must take my hat off to the school because even new IT labs in the school, I think we're sitting at 3 now. Am I right? No, I mean in terms of the CAT, you've got IT and you've got now robotics. Now these schools like Hillcrest High, other schools I visit like Westfield Boys, they have a lot of funds, and they sit with that kind of labs. It's amazing that Verum Secondary can pull off such a feat as well, right? In terms of having so many labs and bringing to our children the 4IR subjects which are necessary. Now, I have nothing against all the other subjects, seriously. But when our learners leave the doors of Verum Secondary with IT, CAT, and even now we're going to have coding skills and robotic skills, they are straight away employable, even if they don't go to a higher education institution. I mean, if you think of a secretarial job, if you think of becoming a teller, if you think of, I mean, just having that skill is good enough. And we don't have to fight for that kind of, and all future jobs, think about it, is going to be involving somebody interacting with AI. You know it, you can see it, right? Even if any job you go to, you will have some part of it where you're going to be working with a robot or some kind of thing. Either setting up, even the guy in the factory will have to set up a machine to probably cut off some kind of, you know, cutouts for certain, in terms of even like steel, fabrication, etc. It will be programming some kind of machine. And that all comes from your IT and your 4IR subjects. Look, I must thank all the sponsors. This lab for me is if I looked at the back of that sheet, it had something like 53 sponsors. And that's amazing. And it's I think, one of the schools that actually brings the community together and get assistance, and that's brilliant. And we have to appreciate that. So I appreciate all our sponsors, and I appreciate the fact that the school, the staff at Verum Secondary actually saw the need for such a subject, and that is the right direction. And not only does lab serve our present learners, it's going to serve the rest of the learners that come through this through Verum Secondary. And I'm sure that that lab will be maintained and that it will be put to good use. I do believe that Verum Secondary didn't spend any, didn't cut any corners. They put the best equipment in this lab, and that's brilliant. And it's very, very expensive to actually get a lab of this nature, right? I think it costs in excess of 700,000 to put a decent lab. And that's a lot of money for most of our schools. So thank you so much. I appreciate having this time to talk to you. And I'd like to hand over back to our presenter. Sorry. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for making time for Bedlam Secondary whenever we need your services. Our next speaker is our learner. After all, these services are designed for these learners. And let us welcome the president of the RCL, Mr. Jared Murugan. A quiet, unassuming lad. He's a son that we all want to add to our family. Quite remarkable in the way he engages with the SMT and staff on matters that affect the learners, and always concerned about ensuring that Bedlam Secondary School can soar to great heights. Let's allow our young lad to say a few words to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, our principal, Mr. Govinda, esteemed faculty, and fellow learners. Today, I stand before you to express our immense gratitude for the incredible opportunities that have come our way through the generous sponsorships that have enabled the establishment of our state-of-the-art Bid Food Robotics Lab and the Checkstar Athletics Club IT Lab. The path that lies ahead is one filled with promise and potential. And I'm excited to share with you the remarkable prospects that this new venture brings. First and foremost, this represents a significant leap towards embracing cutting-edge technology and innovation. As learners, we now have the privilege to explore, experiment, and create an environment that mirrors the real-world applications of robotics and coding. This experiential learning opportunity will undoubtedly enhance our skills and knowledge, making us better prepared to tackle the challenges of a rapidly evolving technological landscape. Moreover, this paves a new way for collaboration and interdisciplinary learning. The labs are not just a place for robotics and IT enthusiasts. It's a place where students from various disciplines can come together and combine their expertise and creativity. This cross-pollination of ideas will lead to the birth of novel projects and solutions that will have potential to make a tangible impact on our community and beyond. All of the sponsorships that have made this possible also serve as a testament to the faith and belief that our supporters have in us, the learners. Their investment in our education and growth reflects a shared commitment to shaping a better and brighter future. It is now our responsibility to rise to the occasion and maximize these opportunities presented to us. In conclusion, I want to reiterate our heartfelt gratitude to the sponsors who have made our dreams a reality. The journey ahead is filled with uncharted territory, exciting challenges, and endless possibilities. Let us embrace this new chapter with open minds, determined spirits, and a deep sense of appreciation for the opportunities we have been granted. Together, we can propel our learning to new heights and leave a lasting legacy of innovation and excellence. I thank you.
Thank you, Jared. Can I please call upon Mrs. Murugan? Mrs. Murugan? Ma'am will be doing, ma'am, come through. Okay, ma'am will be awarding certificates to our sponsors. Do we have Cindy? Cindy is around. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Cindy is always helping us and printing stuff at the 13th or 14th hour. And thank you, ma'am. Your work and your graphics design is definitely awesome. Is Jay Ramsundar and family? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, to you and your family for your kind contribution and support of VSS in our initiatives. Thank you. Do we have a representative from Korea's Business Institute? Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am is currently helping us with our networking. Her representatives were here on 2 days assisting us. Thank you so much. Thank you again to our sponsors. Okay, on our program, the next item is QLTP. Many of you will be thinking, what does QLTP is? Like Mr. Ismail has said, it's Quality Learning Teaching Program. So this involves all the stakeholders, which is your learners, your teachers, parents, and the community. And the purpose is to make sure that quality teaching and learning takes place. Today, as all of our stakeholders are present, we thought it was an ideal situation for us to actually take upon the pledge by these stakeholders. We first call upon Azizwe Nkosi, our learner representative, who will take on the learner pledge. Azizwe, thank you.
As a learner, I promise to accept that the main reason for being in school is to learn and develop academically, socially, and culturally. Adhere to the school rules. Respect the legitimacy and authority of teachers. Participate in learners' representative contests to safeguard my interests. Show respect to other learners and not discriminate. Avoid antisocial behavior like threats, vandalize, sexual harassment, alcohol and drug use, and other activities that disrupt the learning process.
Thank you, Ms. Nkosi. So she represents the learner component of our school. Next, we would have the parent component, Mrs. S. Naidu. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. As a parent, I promise to involve myself actively in school governance structures, have regular discussions with my children about general school matters, cultivate a healthy, open, and cooperative relationship with my children's teachers, create a home environment conducive to study, assist in the protection of educational resources such as textbooks, chairs, tables, and others. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So ma'am represents our parent component. Next, we have our educator representative, and that's no other than our math educator, Mr. R. Saju.
Good
morning, ladies and gentlemen. As a teacher in line with the SACE Code of Professional Ethics, I promise to teach to advance the education and development of learners as individuals, respect the dignity and rights of all persons without prejudice, develop loyalty and respect for the profession, be punctual, enthusiastic, well prepared for lessons, and of sober-minded body. Improve my own knowledge and skills base to be more effective, maintain good communication between teachers and students, among teachers themselves, and between teachers and parents. Provide regular information to parents on the children's progress, eliminate unprofessional behavior such as teacher-pupil relationships, drunkenness, drug abuse, assault, sexual harassment, and others. Make myself available to provide extramural activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sarju. Next, we have Mr. R. Naidu, who represents the safety and security at our school.
Good morning to all. As a community member and an HBO member, I pledge and I promise to ensure that every school-going child is at school, to ensure a safe and a crime-free environment for schooling, and to protect the school and its assets from vandalism, to monitor the performance of the schools and report problems to relevant authorities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So that is our QLTE. We actually have our relative stakeholders that actually promised all of us that they will keep our school safe and well protected, as well as be actively involved, whether they are a learner, parent, or educator. I would like to call upon Mrs. C.E. Gounden, ma'am. Mrs. C.E. Gounden. Okay, ma'am, will present a token of our appreciation to Eunice. Thank you, ma'am, so much for actively being involved in aiding our school to get a good sponsorship from Good Food. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Eunice. Okay. Can I call upon Mr. Nkabela? Okay, to also hand in some certificates of appreciation. The next certificate of appreciation goes to Asma's Hypersafe. Thank you, sir. Next, we have SBA Security. Do we have a representative of SBA? Ashley, thank you. Do we have a representative of class of 1984, please? Representative of class of 1984, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Give them a round of applause. Okay, I'd like to call up from our business studies accounting department, Mrs. Yumaraj. Mrs. Yumaraj was instrumental between the relationship with BET Software. With that, I would like to call upon her niece, Pooja. Thank you. While ma'am is doing that presentation, a little bit about BET Software. BET Software is one of the most diverse betting software provided in Southern Africa with a rapidly growing international footprint. And BET Software supports the initiative of coding and robotics. And if you look at their website, they've been going to a number of schools, including Bedlam Secondary, and sponsoring us with laptops, projectors, etc. I hand you over to Pooja. Pooja?
Good morning, community leaders, fellow sponsors, esteemed educators, and learners of Bedlam Secondary School. Today is a remarkable day as we gather to celebrate not just the opening of a computer room, but the unveiling of endless possibilities and boundless horizons. Earlier this year, we embarked on a journey together, placing one powerful tools of knowledge and exploration into your hands. With our donation of laptops, optical mouses, headsets, projectors, magnetic whiteboards, and a printer. We hoped for it to spark creativity and innovation. For those who don't know us, Bet Software is one of the most diverse betting software providers in sub-Saharan Africa. Simply put, we develop automated software solutions to manage data seamlessly. We are a success story that started off with tech people just simply looking for solutions. Our team of developers built a cutting-edge betting software system for South Africa's leading bookmaker from the ground up, right here in the heart of Durban. Education is a pivotal pillar in our company. Our goal is to make a sustainable, meaningful change by guiding learners and students through access to technology, education, and skills development. We're all about guiding students on an exciting journey, from schools to bursaries, our grad programs, internships, and then finally the potential to become part of our Bet Software all-star family. Our CSI work includes assisting qualifying schools receive technology infrastructure, enabling them to teach ICT-related subjects effectively. As a representative of Bet Software, I am honored to stand before you, not only as a barrier of technology, but as an advocate for dreams, a champion of progress, and as a believer in the potential that each of you hold. Our donation to the school is not merely about hardware, it's about our shared vision for your future. It's about ensuring that every student here, regardless of background, circumstance, has a golden opportunity at thriving in the world of technology. We believe that potential knows no boundaries, and our bursaries, opportunities, and resources are here to empower you to step confidently into the world. In fact, applications for our company's Dare to Dream bursary programs opened at the beginning of this month, closing at the end of October. And we urge you to apply. Our bursaries provide funding to qualifying learners and students who are pursuing studies in an ICT field after matric. Every year, it's exciting to see the caliber of applications we receive. Once students have nailed their university studies, we have a Bet Software graduate program which offers potential work-back experience. We are creating a pipeline for recruitment and employment in the industry. One of our values as our company is we put our hands up, and we'll keep putting our hands up because today is proof that tech dreams do come true. We committed to strengthening our bond with Bedlam Secondary School. Beyond the tangible gifts, We envision future career days where our industry experts will stand right here, sharing insights, sharing inspiration. And who knows, perhaps one day a brilliant mind from this very room will join our ranks as a valued member of our all-star team. So, as we celebrate this computer room's opening, let's celebrate the game it represents. We deeply appreciate your warm hospitality and for allowing us to be a part of your school community once again. Pelham Secondary School, we thank you. Together, let's sail on a journey of learning, growth, and unlimited potential. Here's to the future you'll shape, the technology you'll wield, and the dreams you'll achieve. Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja. I know our learners are quite eager for your presentations and education skills that you will bring to them. Do we have Warren? Is Warren in here, a representative from ShopRite? Okay. So ShopRite is Africa's fastest, largest consumer group in South Africa. Its core business is food retailing, complemented by furniture, hospitality, ticketing, digital commerce, and financial services. Unfortunately, the rep from ShopRite could not be present today. We do have a token of appreciation for them, and it will be forwarded to them. Thank you so much in the absence to ShopRite.
Thank you, Mrs. Urbans. Lunch is not far away, dear colleagues. I'm sure you're building up the appetite, and we're almost there. We are now at an important part of our presentation. The next speaker has been a learner at this institution, having completed his studies in 1982. And he gives meaning to our vision and mission statement. He has excelled academically and on the sports field, having completed 10 plus comrades and I think more than 10 Two Oceans as well. Don't let his size fool you as he gets to the podium. True to our vision and mission statement, he has gone out and plays meaningful roles in our society. He has served on the board of management of the Bedlam Day and Frail Care Center. He has served on the Tonga School Sports Council, Mr. Guru. He is the current chairperson of the School of Board of the Bedlam Islamic School. And we must add to his very impressive CV, he's a risk taker. Many years ago, he is resigned, Mr. Chetty, as an SMT member of a local school and went on to join the checkout group. I was wondering what expertise he possessed then, but I was proven wrong. And currently, he is the wholesale, retail, and leadership chair at DUT. There's only 3 of those in the country. As one of them, we are proud to have him amongst us this morning. Today is here, so of course he wears many caps, but today is here as the chairperson of the Checkstaff Bedlam Falcons Athletics Club. And making great strides in not just creating a platform for people to socialize and stay healthy and fit, but he has inspired his board of management to play an even greater role in our community. We are proud that VSS is the first organization to receive this legacy award. Let's put our hands together to welcome my colleague, Mr. Yunus Doba.
Greetings all. Mr. Governor tells you. I'd like to acknowledge Superintendent and Education Manager, Mr. Naidu. Chetty, sorry. I can't read my writing as it. The Principal, Mr. Governor, Mr. Kavela and his team, the father of Verlup's secondary school, Mr. and business leaders and learners. I'll do the normal political things, all protocols observed. Also bring apologies from our Vice President or Vice Chairman of our club, Mr. Krish Varivel, who have been central to this function, Yugen Murli and Bogi Padachi, who are not available. But I'd like to present to you the team who sits at my table, and you look at our average age within that team, I think we should be close to 60. To say that this band of people are championing sports development and education development. And who are we? We are an athletic club, 26 years in existence. And how come that we can sponsor something like this? We believe in collaboration, networking, and we are quite fortunate that we have two youth sponsors that fund us. And we are the conduit between corporate, through a sports organization, and a social compact with schools. We all talk about social compact, but question of making social compact work. We are funded by the Hypercheck Group, which is its primary brand is the Checkstock supermarkets. But you'll be surprised. We are also funded by Discovery Vitality. There's a Vitality Stadium in England. And we are fortunate that through the band of hard work with individuals sitting around this table, that Vitality, as one of, many people got this Discovery Vitality, that will swipe their cards at the various gyms. We are fortunate we got a sponsorship from them as well. And we have whole road races, and the money generated from there belongs to the community. It belongs to the community, and then if you use in terms of our discretion, how best to funnel that funding to the community. And here we have a ready-made project with Verlum Secondary in terms of coding and robotics. There's much talk about 4IR, but it's scary. We no longer talk about 4IR. We'll be talking about 5IR and 6. 3-day conference at UniZulu. It's finished off yesterday. And the conversations there are around what happens to education with ChatGPT around. I'm not sure if all of us heard about ChatGPT. It is an artificial intelligence program that makes all of us lazy, actually putting Google to shame. The fear now is in terms of education that learners will go into ChatGPT, ask the question, and the answers will be spilled out. So yesterday afternoon, there was a presentation by university, a lecturer from UKZN, and he is saying, let's encourage people to use ChatGPT. Instead of saying, let's use it. Because the simple theory in technology is garbage in, garbage out. So at a different level, a learner may have, will define themselves, but what they ask, the type of question they ask. And they will get the answers that are coming out. So the long and short of the story is, let's allow technology to guide us. But the problem with ChatGPT, the funny part was, if you get too soaked in it, somebody actually kept on asking questions, and ChatGPT came back and said, you now need to divorce your wife. So you have to use it with discretion, right? And this, the technologies around those sort of aspects. I'd like to congratulate Verlum Secondary for being bold, for being trendsetters, but that comes with a further challenge and opposed to you. Let's become the beacon of technology within the north. Let's encourage competitions in robotics. Let's not only say that we now have these facilities, let's involve our wider community, both urban and rural schools, to this facility. Have annual competitions of developing programs and getting learners to be involved in coding and robotics. Through my network, a lecturer at DUT, Mr. Ibrahim Asmal's namesake, has trained some educators here and have trained educators at Vietnam Islamic School. And last year, they had a project known as Robo Girl. Right? Robo Girl at DUT, and as because I knew I was the chairman of Vietnam Islamic School, we took a band of girls to the competition, and they came out second. And Ibrahim Aswad kept on saying, you must come for these awards. To see the girls went blank. When they left there, they were designing and developing workable projects. So it's about, we need to move away. And I'm going to challenge the educators. It's no longer the number of A's you produce. It's about the caliber of people you produce that can enter the economy. We are preparing matriculants and graduates who are misfit due to the skills. Everyone's talking about new skills, but have our curriculum, have our educators, do we know what skills are required? We need to select what skills are we doing subjects that here that are now irrelevant. I'm saying this with respect, with deep respect. We are now guiding learners to do certain science subjects, certain math subjects, to make them unemployable, to make them not accessible to the workplace, and that is critical. In the past 3 days, out of 100 presentations in the conference, probably 70% of the people a slide. South Africa's unemployed percentage is 32.6%. That is a scary factor. So when we engaging, for example, we took a bold position to say, let's change the narrative. To such an extent, India and Russia are saying, we are not going to deal with dollars anymore. We will deal with the rupees and the rubles. What are we doing as Africans? What are we doing in terms of innovation? People were unsure about the vehicles, Haval and Cherry. But those are trendy vehicles on the road now. They're coming from the globe. In fact, somebody was having a conversation with Professor Mogoba, a colleague of mine, who holds the same position at CPUT. And we were discussing this on Thursday night to say, maybe South Africa should say, close our borders to international cars. Or Africa should say that. Put everyone into one room, get all the innovators and manufacture our own car. But with centers like robotics rooms and centers of intelligence can look towards those sort of things. We need to migrate and move away from the talk and talk. Now it's slide presenters, PowerPoint presenters in the classroom. We need to migrate in terms of creating innovators, creating people who can change the world. So the conversations is that what are the possibilities, what are priorities? Those are conversations we need to have. And that sort of message that I said I want to bring to you to say that we're supporting this robotics because it's the first step. Any school in the public sector in the north is looking at innovation and creativity. I watched a video this morning. A local business master of Paula sends it to me. Says this video, and it got this scary. What is fear of the video? There's a video that somebody is selling metric certificates. Rise per price. You will get entry to a diploma, 1,200. Guaranteed. Even higher symbols, 3,000 rand. Seriously, there's a video, and the guy says actually authentic because the corruption that's imminent. But then now questions what are we doing in schools? Scary, isn't it? So when a learner moves from this environment into the economy, we will sort our poverty issue. There's a little joke said that Albert Einstein, when the apple fell on his tree, on the tree onto his head, he came on a theory. But as an African, because of poverty, when the apple would have fallen, he'll take it and eat it. He'll wait for the next apple to fall. And because of the poverty of Africa, because of the poverty of our country, because of huge scale unemployment. So let's gear that our educational movement to creating people who are employable. I'm glad that we have talent acquisition managers, human capital development. I think we've engaged at some stage at the WR skills. We're on the same page at some conversations there. So I'm just picturing you, right? Where we talking about, even when they're saying that he's holding a position, human capital and transformation director. It's no longer human resources. There's a fundamental difference. Is capital is like money. Your people in your business are your money. So all corporates are calling themselves human capital directors, human capital managers. You, as educators in this school, have to nurture the capital, to develop the people. Yeah, so that's one. On a closing note, partnerships between industry. I just want to close on this. Last year, I did 3 trips to Thailand. Right? Whatever reason, cheap labor, whatever, they set up in Thailand. But their people development manager, Vice President Sam Pam, we had engagement with. He was at the university and saying that we are here to make sure that we get the best people to come to our workplace. So the partnership with the university, partnership with industry to grow the human capital. So we need to extend this public-private partnership. There's a member of our club who's not here, and he's a chef by profession. I called him again, he was in Johannesburg, said, I called you on a special reason. He asked me why. It's Christy Ratnam we're talking about. He said, you're a qualified chef. Can you commit yourselves to go to 2 schools only? To go to 2 schools only, offer your service once in 2 weeks in the consumer studies class. To go to consumer study because the consumer study educator was never a practitioner in the workplace. And he agreed. Similarly, other subjects, bring the experts into your classroom. And in Bangkok, the Pandemic Institute of Management, the entire program is run by people who came through the university and are now come and volunteer the service educators as part-time. So take on this challenge. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Congratulations to you and your team, and all the best to you. Thank you.
I'm certain you would have felt the passion that Mr. Doba has for the job that he's currently in. And given more time, he can speak for the day. Thank you, Mr. Yunus Doba. He's a good colleague of ours, and we enjoy the time spent. And that's how we got through many comrades marathons, Chetty, over the last many, many years. Listen to his stories right through the route. But before we hand that, I'm going to call Mrs. Jay Naidu, one that from you. Can I call Mrs. Jay Naidu to the stage to please hand a token of our appreciation to, sorry, ma'am. Mrs. Jay Naidu is our head of department, BCMS, and she will hand a token of appreciation to Mr. Yunus Doba for his support to us. No. Thank you. We'll take that back from you, sir. Can I call to stage the various persons, Mr. N. Governor, Mrs. Ramratan, Mr. Imkabela, Mr. S.A. Chetty. Please come to stage, sir, so we can receive this magnanimous donation to us. Hold on, hold it. Come, Mrs. Runat, come, Mrs. Herbans, Mrs. Mgobozi, are you around? I'm sure you're looking very smart this morning. The Falcons team, just get ready. So we'll do one picture just now with you, the entire Falcons team. Do I have the important role players there? I think I do. Mrs. Rambrantan, you're on stage as well. And I'm calling the team just now as well, sir. I want some nice big pictures so I can get your faces nicely, otherwise become too minute. Thanks to Mrs. Cindy for making this check possible. Thanks to Team Checkstar Falcons for this massive donation of 300,000 rands to Vedlam Secondary School. Let's put our hands and hearts together for this running club. Let's get now this massive donation to us. And can we present, ma'am? Sorry, I'm running between these places here. Sorry, Mrs. Doba. Sorry, Mr. Doba. Falcons team, just get ready. We can do a picture with them while they're here. Once lunch is served, these things get disturbed. All right, give us a lovely 300,000 and smile, Mr. Young Governor. You don't look happy at all. Right, come the Falcons team, Mr. Pat Governor as well. They're music this morning. Come, sir. Come our Falcons team while they're here. Just to remain there, the other persons. We'll have one quick picture with all the Falcon members. I'm sure they want the brochure, which of course they'll pay us for. But come, let's do it quickly so we can, or the lunch will get cold. We still have another huge sponsor to address. Right, we're good to go. Once again, thank you to Checkstar Athletic Club for making this possible. Cindy, thank you very much for your support, your guidance. Mr. Amaris Modley, who's worked for the Department of Education in this field as well. Thank you, sir, for your involvement. Mr. Ibrahim Asmal, who owns Asmal Hypersafe, for his sponsorship on an ongoing basis. Srini, Ms. Marley, Auntie Savvy, Chris, Mrs. Baker, I want to thank you for your contribution and having the confidence to invest in us as a running institution. And may we get more money in the future, Mr. Yunus Doba. Your legacy will live on for the many, many years to come. Thank you, sir, for your contribution. I'm going to hand you over to Mrs. Herbans for the next sponsorship.
Thank you again, Mr. Governor. And to our Checkstar team, we know that we have built a lasting relationship with you. Our next key sponsor is no other than Bird Food. Bird Food, firstly, is a leading food service distributor and supply partner to thousands of customers across Africa. Today, we have Representative Savian Murray, who presently serves as Human Capital and Transformation Director of Bird Food South Africa. Bird Food is part of a proudly South African business and is listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and operating on 5 continents and over 50 countries. Mr. Murray's education spans the field of law, management and leadership, transformation, and business executive coaching. Yes, Mr. Murray is also a skilled negotiator, accomplished business executive coach, accredited with the International Coaching Federation. He's also a member of the Institute of Directors of South Africa, as well as a chartered HR professional and certified lead HR auditor with South African Board for People Practices. And give you over to Mr. Murray. Can we have a warm applause? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. The check for saying all those things is in the mail. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, it's a very afternoon. We started in the morning, but very nearly good afternoon to you. Before I address you, I think I need to note that at least 3 of the people speaking here today are from the wholesale and, well, members of the wholesale and retail sector. And the reason that's important to note is that the wholesale and retail business community is an enormous employer in our country. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be as big as it is by comparison to other sectors, like manufacturing, for example, but it is. And that's important when you're developing people to come into the economy. It's important for you to notice that. So I've covered ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls. I'll skip the political protocol stuff, but let me say hello to the beautiful people of Bird Food can be identified by their designer shirts. So if you need to figure out who they are, look for the shirts. Most of you won't be familiar with the name Bird Food, and for good reason. We are a business-to-business business. We sell to businesses, and the end consumer is not meant to readily identify with who we are. For the purposes of today, though, I'll give you a brief introduction. As was previously said, we are a leading supplier to the food service industry. But what is food service? Food service is simply wherever food is produced out of home. So restaurants, hotels, caterers, airlines. We service all of these businesses. We are a professional partner. We collaborate with food service professionals. We design and innovate new fit-for-purpose solutions for the industry. And we do that around the world. We are a South African business, started in South Africa, still headquartered in Sandton in South Africa, but we currently operate in 5 continents, in multiple countries, still as a South African business. We employ thousands of people in South Africa alone, and that's besides what we do around the world. Although you're not generally familiar with who Bidfood is, if you see a Bidfood truck delivering to a local establishment in Durban, what you're seeing in terms of the logo, what you're witnessing in terms of the service, is identical to what you would see if you were in an eatery in London, or Bangkok, or Sydney. It is exactly the same. And it's the same passionate people that deliver that wherever we are. What do we do in communities? Well, we headquartered in Sandton, so our responsibility starts right next door in Alex. But it stretches to every area that we operate. We believe in developing people. It begins at home, but I'll address the charity thing in a moment, with developing from within. Our own people, our Bidfood people. That's reflected in long service within our business. At our most recent annual awards, we recognize long service for people in 5-year intervals, so 5 years, 10 years, and so on. We handed out awards to people in the 35-year category, the 30-year category, the 25-year category. But people don't just stay with us for a long time. They go a long way. In our business, people that join us without any post-school education are able to rise to our most senior levels of leadership and management. People who've joined us as drivers have become key accounts executives, members of our exco. People who joined us as warehouse staff, picking stock in a warehouse, have risen to operations managers, general managers, running our most crucial businesses. Those achievements aren't ruled out by race, gender, or disability, or economic class. And I say that in terms of the quintile 5 comment that was made earlier, which I'll come back to at the end. Besides developing our own people, though, each year we put hundreds of unemployed youth through learnerships, which assist them becoming employable. We employ some of them, and others get employed by other businesses in our sector. We also put hundreds of people through our YES program. And the science behind that shows that people who are given 12 months worth of work exposure are 80% more employable across the balance of their careers. We do the usual bursaries. We run enterprise development programs, supplier development programs. We fund and mentor small black businesses and then graduate them into our supply chains. But that's not the point of what I'm saying today. What I want to tell you today is we're only able to do that because of human capital. We're able to do that because of the commitment, effort, and good old-fashioned hard work of our people, the Bidfood people, the designer shirts people. Because of our drivers, our van assistants, our warehouse staff, our buyers, our salespeople, our supervisors, managers, finance and support staff, Bidfood's able to invest in the communities that we operate in. For this reason, I salute the people of Bidfood and make it possible for me to speak and it seems like also eat at events like this, because we're all about the food. Today, we're joined by our sales manager from our Durban business in Columbia and members of the Durban team who've taken the time to be here. And the reason for that, the reason we've taken the time to be here, is that it's important to do what this school is doing. The speakers before me have covered everything that needs to be said about why it needs to be done. I need not go into the detail. But succinctly, the need exists, and somebody needs to step up to that need. And we salute the school for doing so. The principal, the deputy principal, acting principal, the members of the management team, and all the stakeholders that come together to make this sort of thing happen. It's vital that our schools are able to educate our young people in subjects that are relevant to them entering the economy. It's vital that we create well-rounded young people who are able to functionally contribute to society. And this project, we're certain, is a project that will achieve that. So when we were approached by Mrs. Cheryl Gounden, a teacher here, I believe, that along the long list of requests, we should consider assisting the school. Not donating to, I'll get to that in a moment. But the reality is we get thousands of requests a month. And we have to say no. More to the point, I have to say no on a daily basis to lots of requests. They're all worthy. They all deserve what they're asking for. But there's only so much money to go around, effort to go around. So, in a balancing act between prioritization, availability of funds, things falling off our schedule, things coming onto our schedule, we are glad that we were able to participate in this particular project. But it's not a donation. It's not charitable. It's an investment. An investment in the youth of today yields results for the future. If I was a politician, I'd tell you we're investing in our society. But I'm not. I'm an employee of a corporate entity. So I'll tell you the truth. We're investing in our business. Because our business needs the youth of today to grow up to become functioning members of our economy. We need them for two reasons. We need the talent inside our business to further grow them and develop them and help them grow our business. But we also need them outside of our business. We need customers. We need a functioning economy for us to be able to grow as a business. So when we put money into a project like this, we're investing in our own business in the long term. And we look forward to seeing excellent results come out of the school. The speakers before me have been eloquent and have been thorough and have covered just about everything that needs to be said. But there's something I didn't prepare to say. Hopefully I won't get fired for saying. I didn't put it through marketing beforehand. But sitting there and listening to the speakers before me, I think it's important to say this. We're focused today on a set of resources that we've now been equipped with to be able to teach our children. And it's important to have resources, and it's great that it's here, and it's important that we use it, and use it well. But we mustn't be blinded to the other reality. Between October and January this year, some of the people in our business will drive around from school to school in the Free State, Eastern Free State, rural schools, as part of the Rally to Read program. Millions of rands will be spent on that program that won't end up in shiny computer labs or fancy technology. Millions of rands will go from school to school in rural areas. They'll be spent on basic books, without which teaching can't occur. Those schools that I've had the privilege of going